Deming's 14 points. Deming's business philosophy is summarized in his famous 14 points. These points have inspired significant changes among a number of leading US companies striving to compete in the world's increasingly competitive environment. The first one, create constancy of purpose toward improvement of product and service with the aim to become competitive and to stay in business and to provide jobs. Second one, adopt the new philosophy. We are in a new economic age. Western management must awaken to the challenge, must learn their responsibilities and take on leadership for change. Third one, cease dependence on inspection to achieve quality. Eliminate the need for inspection on a mass basis by building quality into the product in the first place. Fourth one, end the practice of awarding business on the basis of price tag. Instead, minimize total cost. Move toward a single supplier for any one item on a long-term relationship of loyalty and trust. Fifth one, improve constantly and forever the system of production and service to improve quality and productivity and thus constantly decrease cost. Sixth one, institute training on the job. Seventh, institute leadership. The aim of supervision should be to help people and machines and gadgets to do a better job. Supervision of management is in need of overhaul as well as supervision of production workers. Eighth one, drive out fear so that everyone may work effectively for the company. Ninth, break down barriers between departments. People in research, design, sales and production must work as a team to foresee problems of production and in use that may be encountered with the product or service. 10th one, eliminate slogans, exhortations and targets for the workforce asking for zero defects and new levels of productivity. Such exhortations only create adversarial relationships as the bulk of the causes of low quality and low productivity belong to the system and thus lie beyond the power of the workforce. 11th A. Eliminate work standards, quotas on the factory floor. Substitute leadership. B. Eliminate management by objective. Eliminate management by numbers, numerical goals. Substitute leadership. 12th A. Remove barriers that rob the hourly worker of his right to joy of workmanship. The responsibility of supervisors must be changed from sheer numbers to quality. B. Remove barriers that rob people in management and in engineering of their right to joy of workmanship. This means abolishment of the annual merit rating and of management by objective. 13th, institute a vigorous program of education and self-improvement. 14th, put everybody in the company to work to accomplish the transformation. The transformation is everybody's job.
Joseph M. Juran. Joseph M. Juran made many contributions to the field of quality management in his more than 70 years of active working years. His book, The Quality Control Handbook, is a classic reference for quality engineers. Dr. Juran was the first to incorporate the human aspect of quality management, which is referred as total quality management. Top management involvement, the Pareto principle, the need for widespread training in quality, the definition of quality as fitness for use, the project-by-project approach to quality improvement, these are the ideas for which Juran is best known. A lifetime of professional and worldwide quality. A lifetime of Joseph Juran. In 1904, Joseph Juran was born in Brăila, Romania. In 1912, Juran family left Romania for America. In 1920, he enrolled at the University of Minnesota. In 1937, Joseph Juran became Chief of Industrial Engineering at Western Electrics and conceptualized the Pareto principle or 80-20 principle. In 1928, he wrote a pamphlet entitled Statistical Methods Applied to Manufacturing Problems. In 1926, he became an engineer for the Inspection Statistical Department. In 1945, he became chairman of the Department of Administrative Engineering at New York University. In 1951, his classic book, The Quality Control Handbook, was first released. In 1964, he published his lectures from Japan in his book Managerial Breakthrough. In 1979, he founded the Juran Institute to better facilitate broader exposure of his ideas. He worked to promote quality management into his 90s. Now have a look at the e-lecture for better understanding. Dr. Rahul came across the picture of Joseph M. Juran while having a discussion with Dr. Sujata.
Ma'am, has Joseph Juran contributed significantly to the field of quality management?
Yes, he was the first to incorporate the human aspect of quality management, which is referred as total quality management. He was born in Brăila, Romania in 1904 and his family left Romania for America in 1912. In 1920, he enrolled at the University of Minnesota and received a bachelor degree in electrical engineering and began working with Western Electric in the inspection department of Hawthorne Works in Chicago by 1925.
Ma'am, has he did most of his work in America?
During World War II, he served in Washington, D.C. as an assistant administrator for the Lend-Lease Administration. In 1945, he left Washington and became chairman of the Department of Administrative Engineering at New York University. By 1951, his classic book, The Quality Control Handbook, was released.
Yes, ma'am, and he has published his lectures from Japan in his book Managerial Breakthrough in 1964 and later in 1979. He founded the Juran Institute to better facilitate broader exposure of his ideas.
Yes, you are right.
Major points of Dr. Juran's quality management ideas are top management involvement, Pareto principle, need for widespread training in quality, definition of quality as fitness for use, project-by-project approach to quality improvement, quality trilogy. Key ideas of Joseph M. Juran. Pareto principle. In his early days as a young engineer, Juran noted that when a list of defects was arranged in the order of frequency, relatively few types of defects accounted for the bulk of those found. As his career in management progressed, he noted the occurrence of this phenomenon in other areas. The idea of the vital few and the trivial many was forming. In the 1930s, Juran was introduced to the work of Vilfredo Pareto, an Italian economist who had produced a mathematical model to explain the unequal distribution of wealth. Pareto had not promoted his model as a universal one and did not talk of an 80-20 split, but in preparation the first edition of the Quality Control Handbook, Juran needed a form of shorthand to describe his idea. Remembering Pareto's work, he captioned his description as Pareto's principle of unequal distribution. Since then, the Pareto principle has become a standard term to describe any situation where a relatively small percentage of factors are responsible for the substantial percentage of effect. Juran later published an explanation of his error in attributing more to Pareto than the latter had originally claimed. At the same time, recognizing the contribution of other economist M. O. Lawrence, Juran was in reality the first to identify and popularize the 80-20 rule, as it has colloquially become known as a universal principle. Breakthrough. In his classic work, Managerial Breakthrough, Juran presents his general theory of quality control. Central to this was the idea of an improvement breakthrough. Juran defines a breakthrough as change, a dynamic, decisive movement to new, higher levels of performance. This he contrasts with control, which means staying on course, adherence to standard, prevention of change. Not all control is viewed as negative, and not all breakthroughs are expected to be for the good. Breakthrough and control are seen as part of a continuing cycle of events. Juran highlighted the importance of managers, understanding of the attitudes, the organization and the methodology used to achieve breakthrough, and of how they differ from those used to achieve control. Quality campaigns. Juran viewed the Western quality crisis of the early 1980s as being a result of too many quality initiatives based on campaigns with too little planning and substance. In his view, planning and action should make up 90% of an initiative, with the remaining 10% being exhortation. Juran's formula for success is: establish specific goals to be reached. Establish plans for reaching those goals. Assign clear responsibility for meeting the goals. Base the rewards on the results achieved.